Hey guys, I hope you're all staying healthy, safe, and occupied. Before we start, I would just like to send out my thoughts and wishes to anyone who may be affected by this ongoing crisis, and I hope that all of the brave doctors, scientists, researchers, and people around the world can come together and work together to solve this crisis and problem as soon as possible. I saw that some people had a little bit of difficulty getting their origami boomerangs to work, and while many people liked the video and said that they were able to get it to work, I still wanted to come up with something that was easy to make, requires no origami knowledge at all, and flies just as great. So I came up with a cardboard tri-blade boomerang that you can make by cutting out a cereal box or other thin cardboard that you might have lying around the house. It's going to take a little bit of adjustment and practice, but once you get the hang of it, you're going to have hours of fun. Now, I am going to show you how to throw it at the very end of the video and adjust it, so be sure to watch that and don't skip it. If you do enjoy the tutorial for the boomerang, be sure to give it a thumbs up or like down below, and also leave me a comment letting me know what you thought. Don't forget to click the subscribe and notification bell also, so you know when I come out with new content. And for those of you wondering how it flies, here's a quick clip of me throwing it. To make the boomerang, we're going to need a thin piece of cardboard at least 6 inches by 6 inches, a ruler, pencil, and some scissors. I found the best cardboard to use is the thin types that they use in cereal boxes, popcorn boxes, cracker boxes, whatever you might have. Thicker cardboard doesn't work as well, so if you bend the cardboard like this back and forth and it kind of wrinkles like this, it's probably a little bit too thick, so I don't recommend you try it. Regular paper doesn't work that well, though it does come back in a small circle. It's too light and flimsy, though I haven't tried cardstock or cover paper, so if you try it and it works, let me know in the comments. Once you have all this, you're ready to go. When you open the top and bottom of the box, you should notice there's a little lip here where you can just kind of pull it apart, and then you can cut it at one of the folds in the box. That way you have two sections, which you can then make two boomerangs with. Now we can just remove the excess by just cutting it off. We're going to start out by drawing an equilateral triangle that has 3 centimeter sides and a 2.5 centimeter height. Since equilateral means all sides are the same, every side should measure 3 centimeters when we're finished. If your cardboard has 2 longer sides like mine, then we could just turn it so the longer edges are vertical, and then we could start drawing right near the middle. Just place the ruler in the middle of the paper and draw a 3 centimeter horizontal line, just like that, and now we could place a mark in the middle of the line at the 1.5 centimeter measurement. This will split the line in half, as you could see here. Holding the ruler perpendicular to the line, we can now draw upwards from the midpoint to the 2.5 centimeter measurement. So place the edge of the ruler vertically on the halfway point we made and continue up until you reach 2.5, just like that. To finish the triangle, we just need to connect the 2 bottom ends of the horizontal line to the top of the vertical one. And there you go, you've done an equilateral triangle. Now we're going to draw 3 lines from the points of the triangle directly out through the middle of the opposite triangle side or base. Each line will be 3.75 or 3 3/4 inches long, and we will make a mark on the line at the 3-inch measurement. Since we already have a mark on the bottom side halfway point, we just need to make a mark on the other 2. I usually just eyeball it, but if you want to, you can use a ruler. So right about there and there. So we can now draw a line from the point out through the base here, that's 3 3/4 inches, and making a mark at the 3-inch point. Draw a 3 3/4 inch line and make a mark at 3 inches. Now that we've completed this one, we could do the remaining 2. You should have something that looks just like this now. We're now going to draw 3 2-inch wide lines which will lay directly on the last mark that we made at the 3-inch point. Take the ruler and place the 1-inch measurement directly on the existing line and the mark that we previously made. Then you could draw a line from the 0 to the 2-inch measurement, making sure it is perpendicular to the existing line. Then just do the same for the other 2. Now all we need to do is just connect the edges of the 2-inch line with the corners of the triangle that it faces on all 3 sides. Trying to be as neat as possible, draw a line from the corner of the triangle here to the end of the 2-inch line. Continue to do the same until you have 6 lines total, and it looks something like the diagram I showed. To complete the overall outline of the boomerang, we just need to draw a semicircle that goes from one end of the 2-inch line to the other, touching the end of the central lines, as shown here. I do this part purely by eye, but if you are not good at drawing semicircles, then you can use possibly like a piece of tape or some sort of cap. It doesn't really matter. You just need to make a semicircle just like that. So I'm just going to do it by hand. So I'm just gently drawing a curved line from the edge of the 2-inch wide line over the top of the central line so that it looks like a semicircle in a U shape. And then you could do the same with the other 2. So it should look something like that. Lastly, we just need to draw the line for the airfoil. Holding each arm of the boomerang downwards, it's drawn from the very bottom point to the bottom right corner of the central triangle. We're going to draw a line from the very bottom point to the bottom right corner of the triangle just like this. Line it up as best you can and draw the line. And this area here that I'm filling in is going to be folded downwards to provide the airfoil. Rotate it so that the next arm is down and do the same exact thing. And then finally, do the same with the last one. And we're all done. All we need to do is to cut it out and fold it, and I'll show you how to throw it. If you guys got here, you did really well. You're true artists, and excellent job. There's no real right way to cut it, just make sure you take your time, stay within the lines here, and that you don't bend it too much. I like to start from the outside and work my way into the corners first usually, just like this, and then from the other side, and then you can twist that piece off, and if there's a little bit of excess in the middle, you can just rub it with the corner of the scissors. Then just cut around and just work your way around the whole thing, whichever way you like, and then you can work your way again, once again, into the corners. Just like that from each side, and then twist off the piece and just smooth that out in between the corner of the blades. Do the same thing, and just make sure you've gotten everything. We are now done cutting, we are done measuring, we just need to fold along the airfoil lines and make some adjustments, and we are ready to throw it. To fold the airfoil, you can use a variety of different objects from the edge of a table or preferably the pointy edge of a straight metal object like a ruler or a pair of scissors like I am. It doesn't have to be that sharp, so there's no need to use anything sharp enough to cut yourself. Line up the edge of the object you're using with the line that you've drawn in the cardboard. Holding the scissors firmly in place on the line, I'm going to first fold upwards, creasing the cardboard all the way to the corner of the blades, as you can see right here where my pointer finger is. Now that I have an existing crease, as you can see on the line, I can now fold it downwards, once again making sure that the crease goes from the end of the boomerang all the way to the middle. Now the airfoil is facing away from us, and you could do the same with the rest of them. So, do the same thing, lift up against the edge of the metal, and then fold back down. Lift it up, and then fold on that existing crease once again. So we finished folding the airfoils, but as you can see, they're folded pretty far down. We do not want them folded this far down, so set it down on the table and just press down gently. So now we're finally ready to do a test flight, so let's see how it flies. I'm going to take the boomerang and I'm going to hold it so that the face we just completed is facing towards us, and I'm going to take my middle finger and thumb and grab right here below this little line right here and put my finger on top of this edge right here where the airfoil is. And I'm going to just first practice throwing it. You want to throw it like a frisbee, except you want to let it roll off the tip of your finger. So it's important to really get a good flick of the wrist and make sure that it's spinning a lot. So let's practice the spin first. You want to go like this and spin it a couple times. So try to spin it like that, give it enough spin. And you'll see it should come back actually, even if you throw it horizontally. Just like that. So the same thing, we're going to try now to throw it sideways so that it spins around. We're going to hold it the same way between our thumb and middle finger and put our pointer finger on top. Hold it so that this side is facing to the right and angle it ever so slightly to the left, maybe at like an 80-degree angle. And you're going to flick your wrist outwards, letting it roll off the tip of your finger. Let's try it. just like that. So this one's working pretty well. Now again, make sure that these are not bent too much. If you bend them too much, this is what will happen. It will not fly very fast because it's blocking too much air. It's getting too much air resistance. So you see how slow it goes? So once again, if you bent them too much like this, just set it down on the table and just flatten it out like that. Make sure you're holding it properly. Put your pointer on top here, hold it like this, angle it ever so slightly, and flick your wrist out. Flick your wrist, and let it roll off your finger. And there you go. There is your cardboard boomerang. Thank you guys so much for watching my tutorial for the cardboard tri-blade boomerang. I hope you did enjoy it and found it easy to follow, especially since I put a lot of work into it with all the diagrams and everything. And I think it's a really cool way to use excess cardboard that you might have otherwise thrown away. I've been posting some stuff on my Instagram and also my Rob's Phone channel, so if you haven't checked those channels out, I'll definitely put some links down below to my other social media sites that you can check out that I've been using. A couple people have asked me about cubing, and I actually recently got some new cubes. I got a GAN 3x3 and 4x4 magnetic, and also a Moyu 5x5, all of which have become my favorite new cubes, and I recently got a sub 5 for all three of them, which is that's really good for me considering I've only been practicing for a few weeks. Again, please give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and let me know what you'd like to see next down in the comments below. I do have some other ideas that I've been writing down, some other origami stuff, and some non-related origami things that I've been thinking about teaching, but I just wasn't sure if people would actually want to see it, so you know, maybe I'll do that. So I might put a poll up and see if you guys want to see some of the things that I am thinking about. So I'll definitely do my best to post more, even if it's just an update or a cube solving video or whatever it is, something that I've been wanting to teach. So definitely be on the lookout, and I'll see you then.